Mr. Ray, you mentioned the documentation that you don't have earlier during your testimony. Can you share what documents you have uncovered with respect to the transfer of funds from FTX to Alameda?
It's voluminous. The record keeping, wasn't very clean in the company, but we should be able to trace the movement of crypto assets. I mean, inherently in the nature of the crypto, you should be able to see the movement and where it started and where it ended up. We'll obviously track, the banking information. We do have bank records. Sometimes we have to go right to the source, right to the bank to get historical records because they're not, in hand, if you will, at the company. But one way or another, we'll get the banking records and we'll be able to trace the sources of cash, how that cash was utilized to buy assets. Once we can identify the assets, we can then trace the asset from either, transfer to other currencies or ultimate, payment outside the company. So it's just a very intense forensic process, but we'll have the records ultimately to do that.
We'd be interested in receiving more detailed explanation of the documents that you have. And one last question, can you describe what documents you identified with respect to internal controls and governance?
Well, there isn't any, to speak of. I mean, the company is virtually void of any internal controls or documentation. Resolutions are absent. Authorizations approving massive loans, for example, the loans of the insiders. I haven't seen any resolutions approving those. When Sam Bankman Fried signs on behalf of the company and then he signs his own loan, that should tell you a lot right there.
Gentleman's time has expired. The gentleman from New York, Mr. Meeks, who is also the chair of the House Committee on Foreign Affairs.